Namaste, friends, yogis, dancers, athletes, movers and shakers. My name is Johannes Har, also known as Jypsy. I'm here in my studio in Upland, California, and I want to talk to you about a very unique yoga immersion and teacher training program that I'm going to be offering this summer, starting in June 2017. So for those of you who don't know me, I'll introduce myself a little bit about my background. I am a yoga teacher. I've been teaching yoga for about 6 years. I've been doing yoga for about 15. I've been an athlete pretty much since the age of 3. I am a circus performer. I am a yoga therapist. I work in rehabilitative exercise. I work in performance coaching, in injury prevention and rehabilitation. I have a degree in exercise science from UC Santa Barbara, a master's degree in kinesiology from Cal State Fullerton, and I completed my yoga training at Santosha Yoga School in Bali, Indonesia. So I have been doing yoga, sports, personal training, and athletics and performing athletics in the circus for 10 years now almost, in certain varieties of all aspects of those things. I've been teaching, I've taught yoga teacher trainings here locally in California. I've taught aerial yoga trainings. I've done over 30 aerial yoga teacher trainings around the world, all across the US, in Australia. And I have taught yoga in Indonesia, in Australia, and again, all around the US. So I'm very, very excited to offer a unique yoga teacher training here in my home studio, where we also do aerial and circus and performance and dance. The training that I'm doing is going to be a 3-month intensive, which means we're going to complete the whole 200 hours of the beginner teacher training. We're going to complete the 200 hours this summer. So it is an intensive and it is an immersion. The goal of this program is that I really wanted to give my students, my trainees, the opportunity to immerse themselves in the life of a yogi and the life of yoga, especially in the life of a modern yogi, which is what I consider us all to be here and now. So the program that I'm doing has 3 parts to it. One is that we are gonna completely nerd out about the human body and human movements. I have 10 years of research that I'm introducing into this program, half of which was done through my master's degree program at Cal State Fullerton. So we're going to be talking about human movement, like the scientific aspects of human movement, but from a yogic perspective. So I'm going to talk about how we take the scientific knowledge that we have today about how the body works and how the body moves and our anatomy, and I'm going to integrate that with yogic philosophy. This is something that I developed when I was in school as a way to teach other types of physical activity coaches how to incorporate yogic philosophy into their own programs. So when I was in school, for example, I developed a program that was for PE teachers or personal trainers or athletic coaches, professional athletic coaches, to understand what yoga is and what it's all about, so that they could integrate those types of teachings and those types of trainings into what they were already doing. So if you are any kind of physical activity teacher, the program that I'm running this summer would be a really, really good thing for you to do. So if you teach at a school, if you teach sports, if you're a fitness coach or anything like that, even if you teach like kids sports programs, this would be the type of program that I think you would really benefit from, because I'm going to show you how you can integrate yogic concepts into what you're doing so that we get more of a holistic picture and more of a well-rounded way to teach people how to move their bodies effectively, and how we do this safely, how we gain strength, how we integrate the mind-body aspect of it as well. So that's one aspect of the teacher training that I'm doing. The second aspect is just the physical environment of where this is going to be taking place. Half of our program will be here in the studio, as you can see. The other half of our program will be taking place locally up in Mount Baldy, where I live. So we'll be coming up, we'll be doing nature excursions so that we can meditate, so that we can kind of get out of our natural environment in order to connect with ourselves, with our bodies and our breath, and the idea of yoga in a totally different way. I learned yoga the first time when I was doing my teacher training in Indonesia, and we were outside and we were kind of cut off from everything else. And I feel like that's a really important part of the practice. So I want to get everybody, and because I live up in Mount Baldy, it's easy for me. We can meet at the studio, we can carpool it up there, we can go on a few excursions. I'm going to take you some of the places where I really like to go, and then we can reconvene at my house and just eat food and have some smoothies and talk about the practice while we're in a totally natural environment, which I think will be really helpful. The third aspect of the program, which is my favorite and which I feel like is maybe the most unique, is that I'm also doing an Indian cultural immersion. So I don't know if you could tell from all of this, but my family, or my father, was born in India before the split with Pakistan. So, and then now we're Pakistani. But one of the things that was really stood out to me as a yoga teacher, as I went through so many different trainings and so many different yoga workshops and even all around the world, was that it was rare that I got the opportunity to learn about my culture from somebody of my culture when I was in those yogic environments, which was very strange to me. So I feel like here where we are now, there's not as much opportunity for yoga teachers to really learn about the culture and the history of yoga from somebody of that background. So what we're going to do with my program is we're going to do that. We're going to have an Indian cultural immersion as part of the program. And this isn't to say that you have to, you know, like, that Indian culture is like you have to teach it or you have to be a part of, you know, this whole like Indian philosophy and in order to teach yoga, because when it comes, yoga is universal and it really is about the body and about that perspective. However, given that it does have such a rich history in India, and given that that history has been kind of torn apart in so many different ways and disseminated all over the place, and you know, there's so many things that I hear about it from other people where I go, well, hey, like, that's not quite right. So I would like to kind of have some more open discussions about that. So we're going to do some things, some fun things that you may not think of are, you know, what you would think of in terms of India and yoga, but in a way they are. So we're going to go down to, I'm going to take you to Artesia. We're going to go down to mini India. We're going to eat at the Indian sweets and snacks shop. We're going to watch a couple Bollywood movies, Bollywood musicals. We're going to get a taste of what the modern culture in India is like. And you're going to get to talk to me and a few other people who can discuss what the culture of India and the culture of yoga in India has started with, has evolved into, what it is now, and kind of what that whole cultural perspective on yoga is from an Indian standpoint versus from a very Californian standpoint that we have now. So if you're interested in this program, please send me a message. I'm going to put the link to sign up in the comments underneath this video. My website, where you can learn more about me in the studio, is modernjypsy.com. Gypsy is spelled with a J, so Jypsy. Modernjypsy.com. You can email me at moderngypsy@gmail.com. Again, our program starts this summer. It starts June 3rd and it runs through September 2nd if you're interested in the 200-hour yoga immersion and teacher training. So I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, please contact me, and I look forward to seeing you this summer. Thank you.